Hey, yo, welcome back. This is Ty Ty. We getting ready to move into a new year. We ain't got time for weak mixes, weak vocals, none of that. So I'm gonna give you a little insight on my top 10 go-to plugins that you should cop for this coming year. It's the holidays, discount season, baby. All right, so starting it off, everybody been talking about it. Pro Q4, bro. This plugin is absolutely insane. You know, I got my normal go-tos with my EQ curves and everything for my lead vocals, but just being able to do like the dynamic and everything like that, it's well worth the upgrade. And if you don't have Pro Q3, it's gonna be a little more expensive, but it's worth every penny. But then hopping into the Sauce from DJ Swivel, bro, this plugin is so slept on. I can't say enough about this thing. Kind of my technique with what I do with it is basically I do a little bit of pitch and format, and I'll just blend in a percentage, and that just adds this gritty characteristic that I really, really love on trap vocals. You know, you got a built-in chorus, a built-in flanger, you got two different types of saturation. Over here, you have two different types of compression, three different types of reverb, and then you got some delay. But the thing that's kind of crazy about this too is you got a built-in imager, which is cool, but you can turn it into multi-band and only affect certain sections. I'm telling you this, if you're skeptical, run the demo, you're gonna love it. And I ain't gonna lie, I be putting this blended in with most of my lead vocals. And like you can even do, say you wanna do like the Alvin and Chipmunk or Chopped and Screwed kind of dubbed vocal, the Sauce will do that for you perfect every single time. It's cake. But then also kind of coming in on the same vibes as the Sauce, we got Vocal Synth 2 from Isotope. And this thing is phenomenal. Like you can kind of do the same things, but it's definitely more in depth. I was messing around with the other day, and it's not something I would do very often, but you could turn normal vocals into like screamy metal vocals by just a couple adjustments. It's absolutely insane. But you know, you got all these different modules here, the BioVox, the vocoder, which is super, super cool. A talk box. I don't even know how to say that. CompuVox, Polyvox. You can really get in here. You even got pitch correction. You can set your key and everything like that too. Distortion, different filters. You can transform, shred, chorus, delay, ring mode. Like there's so many things you can do with this. You can pan. You got width. Like I believe this is on sale right now, if I'm not mistaken. Unfortunately, over the summer, I paid full price. But if you can cop that on the discount, go ahead. I strongly advise it. And one thing that we all love is compression. And I know this plugin is far from new, but I've recently fallen in love with it again. And you can see here, I put it on my lead vocal tracks, and I'm not doing any downward compression, just a little bit of upward compression before I run into some saturation, and it just makes my lead vocals thicker than you would believe. And like, it's too easy, bro. It's too easy. And for $29, go ahead. And then into another specialty plugin here, we got Fision from Eventide, and I believe this might be from Newfangled. They're all kind of combined. This thing is super dope. So you can affect just transients or the tonal, and then you can run different modules for each. Tape delay, dynamics, phaser, reverb, gate, EQ, reverse delay. Down here, kind of the same things. I think the only thing you don't have is phaser, but you have a tremolo. And another one that has grown very near and dear to my heart is the repeater. And this delay, bro, I always was a big fan of H delay before. What really sold me was the way that you can just kind of pan your delays and just kind of put them in the exact spot that you want it to be in without really having to do automation. But very, very clean. You got all these different modules here for different types of delays, and this thing is 100% worth its weight. And then still along the lines of specialty plugins, this thing, the H3000, this is also from Eventide. Not enough people talk about this. My absolute go-to for this plugin is the preset of the Micro Shift Slap. And kind of the way I do this is I run it as a send, and I put it on my lead vocal, and I just kind of have it very, very faint. But what it does is just really makes everything 3D. You get that nice separation, and it'll transform the way your lead vocals sound and you can't even hear it. It's kind of just a bunch of chaotic delays, but the way that it's sitting, it just adds separation, and you can't hear that. And it's one of those things that you can feel it, and you know when it's gone, and you're going to turn that thing back on every time, bro. And another great one here is Spectre from Waves Factory. It's a multi-band saturator, and you can get really, really creative with this thing. You know, sometimes with certain saturation, you can kind of go overboard a little too much, and say you want this in just a certain area, a little bit around, say, 3,500, boom, you give it a little boost. Say you want it to be just a nice shiny top end, boom, give it a little high shelf. You know, you can customize certain things. One thing I wish it had is like maybe added to where you could kind of take it, like notch out certain areas. But all in all, absolute great plug-in. You can go into different types of saturation, and that's independent per band. Like, I think this thing's on sale right now too. So if you're looking for some saturation plugins, go ahead and cop that thing. All right, so we got another Eventide plugin here, and I really ain't trying to glaze this company, but bro, they make some crazy just specialty type plugins. And this is another harmonizer, kind of like the H3000. I use this one specifically for like a doubler, and just the thickness that you get from it, Waves doubler can't compete. Really any other doubler that I've kind of put this up against, I always end up picking the H910. And it's good, bro. It's super clean. It's rich. It's everything that I personally would want out of a doubler. All right, so I got one more for y'all, and we got the analog channel from McDSP, and this is specifically the AC202. This thing I put on my lead vocals, so I'm running auto-tune, my EQ, the MV2 for some upward compression, and then my analog channel. Basically what this is just tape emulation, and you can do a little roll off here. The way that this sits when mixing with auto-tune vocals, it'll take everything and just make it real smooth. A lot of times, you know, higher retune speeds for auto-tune, you can get kind of choppy and things like that. This just really smooths it out and adds just this nice rich saturation. And you got 3 different tape speeds here. You got vintage, modern. You got 2 different, I can't remember what IEC stands for, but it definitely does bring a different sound to it. You got multiple different types of tape machines, and then you got your bias, your release, because it does have like that tape compression built into it. And then the amount of roll off, you can push into it, you can back off your output. Sounds great every time. But yo, I ain't even gonna lie, I hope y'all like this. I ain't sponsored by any of these companies. I'm just really wanting to let you guys know what I work with on a daily basis when it comes to mixing my music, when it comes to mixing clients' music. Most of these plugins are absolutely on every mix. And I'll be honest, I couldn't really work without them. Like I'm very critical on certain sounds and certain things, especially for the Sauce and Vocal Synth 2, those couple types of plugins, H3000, you're getting certain things through those plugins that I have never been able to get from anything else. And I've tried to replicate it even after getting the plugin, and it just don't do it. But I would suggest this. If any of these pique your interest, run the demo, but really pay attention, because this time of year, these companies low-key be giving these plugins away, great discounts. Go ahead and give it a cop. Even if it's something that you use on a special occasion, I'm telling you, it will get that sound exactly where you need it to be. But as always, this is Ty Ty, and I'm going to catch y'all next week. If you all want to see any demos on any specific plugins, leave that in the comments below, and I'm going to get it done for you. Peace.